Welcome, everyone, and hello to all of the beautiful people out there. We are once again to bring you the news here at Culture Cabbage. This is your favorite Southern Californian son, along with my friends Jacob.
Yo, what's up, guys?
And dearest Karl.
Howdy, y'all.
Hi, friends. Hi. Yeah, we're here to once again bring you the news after last week's loaded episode, and I do mean loaded.
Yes, it was.
Karl.
It was very loaded.
Hi. How's it going?
Not bad.
That's great to hear. I hear you have some news for us.
Yes. Now with DC, Greg Fraser will be the cinematographer for the Batman Part 2. He did the first one as well. So that's good.
Very neat, very neat.
We got an announcement of a Suicide Squad. I have no clue how to say that last word.
Isekai.
Thank you. A Suicide Isekai, I'm not even gonna try to say it again. Anime in the works by, I want to say, Wit Studios is developing it.
I watched the trailer, and I feel like I share the same sentiment that a lot of people do. This doesn't seem like a Suicide Squad show deal, whatever. It feels more like the Harley and Joker hour.
So we're getting the Suicide Squad 2017 Part 2.
Yeah, by the way, it was 2016.
Potato is still a garbage.
Yeah, pretty much that.
Next we have is Greta Gerwig, director of Barbie, that she wants to move between making big movies and small movies like her. This is her quote: "My weekend buddy Christopher Nolan." Her quote was, "He made The Dark Knight, then he made The Prestige, which is not a tiny movie, but it is also not the same thing."
Also, she just wants to go between projects.
This might be some good news for some people, but Superman's origin will not be shown in Superman Legacy.
I mean, it's kind of like the Spider-Man thing. We've already seen it a bunch of times.
Like everyone knows Superman's origin story. It's like you don't need to show it in every Spider-Man movie. You don't need to show it in every Batman movie. You don't need to show it in every Superman movie. Those are literally the three most popular superheroes of all time. Everyone knows it.
Actually, I was thinking about that recently. Live action wise, we've only gotten it 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we haven't gotten it as much as the other two, but still, it doesn't really need a ton of explanation unless they plan to do something completely different, which from the sounds of it, they don't. So
more comments from Miss Gerwig. There was a big discussion around using CGI for the Barbie's arch cheat scene. She was quoted as saying, "I thought, oh God, no, that's terrifying. That's a nightmare." Also, Margot has a nice seat. It's her quote.
I guess that's you think that.
This Barbie movie is shaping up to be crazy.
Let's listen to Barbie again. Barbie has been banned in Vietnam. A scene depicted in the film displaying a map with 9 dashed lines, a representation of Chinese territory claims in the South China Sea, which Vietnam says violates its sovereignty.
All right.
I guess. I mean,
I looked into most of these. Most of these are actually Warner Brothers DC projects, so I put it in here. So the following franchises are getting rebooted, or have major reboots in the works: DC, Files, Hellboy, Twilight, Spy Kids, Harry Potter, The Wizard of Oz, Percy Jackson, and The Chronicles of Narnia.
Dude, that's a lot of reboots, man.
yeah, I don't see many original products.
I mean, some of those, I don't know exactly how they'd be considered reboots. Because, I mean, Hellboy was a comic series. They're not rebooting the comic, I don't think.
No.
Just
One of my bigger fears is
I think they're making a new Hellboy movie, which is different than the original.
one of my biggest fears is like they're gonna remake the Narnia books. How are they gonna remake the Narnia movies? Are they gonna change change it from the source material or make it more accurate?
That really is the question.
Because I've read all of them. The first one they started off with in the old series was the 3rd book. There were two before that.
Yeah,
and
those the entire collection. I can attest to that.
Those books are really good. I personally thought Witch the Wardrobe was fine. But I don't know if that's going to go over well. Like it's not that interesting as far from an action perspective. It's more of setup for the rest of it. It's playing the mechanics. I don't know. Have you ever read them?
Yeah, I have.
I was gonna say, which one of those are you talking about?
The person who says they own the collection. They also skipped. So they did book 3, 4, and 5, and they didn't do the other ones. They didn't do 6 or 7.
Which I'm not entirely sure why.
6 is kind of has an interesting concept. But anyways, that's a little bit.
Before you continue, Carl, these are all being done under the WB banner.
Because I knew a few, like obviously DC is. I was guessing Hellboy was. I'm not too sure, but I knew DC and Harry Potter were.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
took an educated guess on the rest because I know Percy Jackson is Disney now because Disney Plus is having that Percy Jackson show,
Yeah.
which will have
Hellboy,
lots of.
Hellboy falls under the WB banner, I'm pretty sure.
And I'm not too sure about Twilight, Spy Kids, Wizard of Oz, or the Chronicles of Narnia, and the X-Files.
Wizard of Oz, well, obviously that's public domain. I'm fairly sure. Like anyone can make a Wizard of Oz movie. Spike, Hellboy, like I said, I think it falls under the WB banner, but WB has always kept a good relationship with Dark Horse Comics. So even if it's not, they're still in the good graces. Narnia, I'm not sure where it's like TV, like where its movie rights are right now, because obviously Disney did the previous movies, but I don't know if they still own it or not. We'll just have to see.
I'm looking to see who owns the Spy Kids franchise. Oh, who is the you know which word I mean? I'm looking for.
Yes, the distributor.
Yes. Okay, you are not helpful, you stupid.
You guys ever watch those Spy Kids movies? I remember watching.
Oh, they
Of
were
course.
released by the Disney Corporation. At least their home movies were, because they were brought by the Buena Vista Home Entertainment doing business as the Warner Brothers Studio Home Entertainment.
No, you're not that guy, pal. I'm the guy. Actually, along for the movie.
Fun fact I learned, did you know there's a connection between Spy Kids, Stars, and the TV show Monk?
What is it?
They all have the actor Tony Shalhoub in them.
Interesting.
Tony Shalhoub played Monk on that show. He played what was his name? The guy who got all the clay stuck on him, who had like 3 heads sticking out of his head. You remember what I'm talking about in Spy Kids, the first one? Who appeared in the third one later?
It's been forever since I've seen those movies.
Let's see if I can even find his stupid name in this. Minion. Minion was his stupid name.
Yeah, I don't remember. I watched them like 7 years ago.
And he played Luigi in Cars franchise. He was Luigi.
I can picture it.
But back to Miss Kerwig. She is open to directing a superhero movie or an action movie. She said, "It will have to be something I had a feeling for or a relationship to. Well shot, well executed action movie is incredible. Just a dance. I've never done anything like it." Now, this one is a bit strange. All regular show content has been removed from Cartoon Network's website, excluding both of the rigged BMX games. It is very unclear, very unlikely that the show is written off.
Which I'm not entirely sure why, considering the fact that regular show was one of the shows that saved Cartoon Network back in the day. Does anyone remember when Cartoon Network got rid of their cartoons, just did live action shows for a while?
Oh, I remember that. I was seeing Real. I remember that.
Yeah, but then they brought in stuff like Adventure Time, regular show, then Gumball phased in, and then everything was hunky dory again.
You know why I remember that?
How's that?
Because they did a tie-in episode with the actors who were in Alien Swarm.
That movie?
Yeah, they had the actors in the show Build Destroy or Destroy Build Destroy. That was the show.
Wild time, man. Wild time.
And fun fact, there's supposed to be 3 films of the Alien Swarm franchise, of the live-action Ben 10 films.
Why didn't they make the? Why didn't? Oh, it
because it's just because Real was having an argument with Cartoon Network and they parted ways.
Sounds about right. Only the logical decision.
Find out more at the interview with Ryan Kelly on the YouTube channel. Link down below. Now you find the link, DJ. I see you.
Thank you.
Next we have I just skipped one. Jacob Quaid says All-Star Superman was his inspiration for his performance in My Adventures with Superman, the new Adult Swim mansion.
That one looks, I guess, interesting.
That book has become very popular as of recently.
Somehow.
This will make DJ very smile. He will smile a big smile today. The Flash is projected to become one of the biggest box office bombs of all time, with Warner Brothers losing over $200 million.
Let's go! Seriously though, this movie, why?
I'm gonna
go
ahead.
If I may, we've been talking about this stuff for like a year, like about how this movie was destined for failure.
You can go back to our old videos and you'll see that.
You're right. We have been talking about this even before we restarted our podcast. We've been talking about this.
Yes, that's how long it's been going on. That's how long that this movie has been in the gutter, dude.
Oh no, that movie's been in the gutter since 2017.
Exactly. They planned on doing it after Justice League. That it
You know
kept
what?
getting
You know what it was originally supposed to be?
what?
It was supposed to be a Flash and Cyborg buddy movie.
Which,
Got really far from that.
considering how both actors ended up with their on WB's terms, wow.
Oh yeah, they had changed that plan right after Ray Fisher did what he did with the president of WB, who wasn't even head of WB when his incident happened.
Sounds about right. But yeah, dude, they plan on this movie. It kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And then the whole thing with Ezra Miller happened, where it was, hey, maybe this guy is kind of an a-hole.
Not that I don't know him, but that guy, everything I've read on it even beforehand, oh, I always thought he was a few screws loose.
Ezra is weird.
I
And I'm
will
not-
say I hate
and I'm
being
not- Go ahead.
I hate being nice to him, but I have to say he was the entertaining part of that 4-hour Justice League movie.
Ezra Miller was good in that movie.
And yeah, and I will give credit where credit is due. Ezra Miller as an actor is not bad.
I loved
Even
Ezra Miller's performances in the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Even
But
in the Flash, which I'm the only one in our little group because it happened to be streamed live on Instagram when I caught it. But he's not bad in that movie. Surprisingly be able to play two versions available. Playing two versions of himself.
But Ezra Miller, the person,
Oh, him I want to punch in the face 100 times and leave him the dumb.
yeah, and that dude, they did this to my favorite character of all time, man. I'm still pissed.
Last thing I'll say on the Flash, you know what the worst thing is?
What's that?
They couldn't even get a hint because this will probably come out maybe a week or two after this movie's been out, but they couldn't even have the cojones to pick the best version of the Flash. Grant won't even give you what's his name? He's in the Flash. He was the
Wow.
90s Flash, and I couldn't remember his name.
I was gonna say, can you be a bit more specific? But yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The old
I
guy.
can't remember. Yeah, I need his name.
He plays
John
Jay
Wesley
Garrett.
Shipp. John Wesley Shipp. That was his name. I finally had it in my head. They couldn't get a reference to either of them. Titans. The Titans TV show did a better crossover multiverse thing than the freaking Flash.
Well,
From what I heard,
You know
they used cameos, but they weren't always the best cameos.
you know what they say. It is what it is.
Anyway, to our news topics after our little rant on the Flash. You gotta love the internet. The internet has made up two new words.
Oh dear God.
We have Diamond Hyper or Up and Barbie. I'm not too sure to say the first word, but I knew I could say the second one. Is an
Barb-
internet phenomenon that began circulating ahead of the theatrical release of both dramatically opposing movies in genre, Barbie and Oppenheimer on July 21st, 2023. The word
Which
is
one are
opposed.
you?
Obviously, Barbie. I already have my tickets.
Are you serious?
How serious do you think I am?
Not
I
at
don't
all.
know. Do you have the tickets? Are the allegations true?
Are the allegations true? No.
See, the only way I could see you going to this movie is if your mother dragged you to that movie.
Okay, to be fair, I will give this movie credit. It looks better than what people are giving it credit for.
Yeah.
But continue, Carl.
Continuing on with Barbie, Billie Eilish has a song released for the Barbie soundtrack called "What Was I Made," releasing on July 13th at 7 a.m. BT.
Let me show you just what I'm made of.
No, this next one I have to ask you a question.
What's up?
What's your opinion on None?
You
Oh,
really
shit,
want
let me
my
rephrase that.
opinion?
On the movie? Yeah, what's your opinion on the movie?
Bro, I know some people liked it, but the first one's
Well, we got a poster and a trailer for the second one, and it is being released on September 8th.
it's a culmination of all the modern horror movie tropes that you can consider, but they're played 100% straight. It's the most paint by numbers horror movie. It's not for me, man. It's not for me.
Next we have DJ will be happy about, but I have two things with this one. One is we got a new trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 confirming that Smoke and Rain are playable characters, and a number of new cameo characters also have been confirmed. But I found
Ketchup
a
and
very
mustard.
funny, got a very funny quote. Ed Boon tweeted that out with what's the main guy's name in the main who he
Oh.
replaced Raiden.
Liu Kang.
Oh, okay. Then you go to the bottom image of DC and You tell me who that is.
Oh, I got
Talking
you.
about smoke?
No, no,
Oh,
no, no. The
Scorpion.
final image. No, no, in the title.
Yeah, where's smoke? Oh,
No.
wait a second.
Read this. I need that guy's name.
Oh, Yuri Lowenthal.
No, not even that. It says
Cyrex?
one. It says Mortal Kombat 1. I need that guy's name
Ed Boon.
in the sentence.
I know. I'm messing with. It's Lin Kuei.
Thank you. Ed Boon tweeted out Mortal Kombat 1 Lin Kuei gameplay trailer. I thought it's funny what
Karl?
Yuri Lowenthal said.
Karl,
Where there's smoke.
I have to break it to you. Lin Kuei is not a character.
I'm not very well versed in this universe, as you well know.
Lin Kuei is the clan that Sub-Zero is part of.
My point still stands. I'm not as dug into this universe as you are.
I know.
This one's a little actually. DC's My Adventures with Superman will be premiering its first 2 episodes on Adult Swim tomorrow when I found this, and on HBO Max on July 8th.
I was gonna say that's July 8th.
And Roger Hins is a huge fan of Matt Reeves, the Batman. He said, I've never been a fan of Batman until your film. I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times now. It's very moving. I love it. I connected with the characters. I connect with what you're saying with it.
He loves it.
I guess this continues on the other thing. Warner Brothers says the map depicting the 9 dashes in Barbie that got the film banned in Vietnam is a childlike crayon drawing. The doodles depict Barbie's make-believe journey from Barbie Land to the real world.
That's fun.
This is wild.
Craig Minson on how writing for The Last of Us Season 2 was going before the writer's strike and when work will start again. He says, very, very well. It's very frustrating to hit the break, but that's okay. Strike needs to happen. When it ends, we will be right back to work, which makes sense. I never saw the first one, so I don't really care about this one. But we got a new trailer for Dune Part 2, and the film will be releasing on November 3rd in theaters. Take this one with a grain of salt because I believe this comment came from a fan account, so take this comment with a grain of salt. But it says James Gunn says Superman will be the similar age to the actor David Conrad playing him. Conrad is currently 29 years old.
I mean, that's not the craziest thing to say. I mean, how old? Like, what's the oldest Superman has been in like a mainstream setting? Like, can't be older than like 40.
Let's see, how old was? Let me look up how old Christopher Reeves was in Superman 4.
Might have been younger, honestly. Oh, wait, you said in the first Superman movie?
No, Superman 4. They kind of go in order.
Oh,
This says he was 35.
Interesting, because you said he was born in 55, so
No,
the movie
52.
came out in like 77.
52. He was born in 52.
Okay, so he could have been in his 30s.
Yeah, so Superman Returns, because that's the movie set 5 years later after Superman 4. So he would have been about 40.
kind of what I was thinking.
Because we never got that old with Cavill or any other version of Superman. So yeah, 40 is about the oldest we've ever gotten. Anyways, Matt Reeves says he's aiming to push it further with the Batman movie.
In what direction?
He does not say. And I've never heard of this show, but have you heard of a show called Tasmania?
Nope.
Well, it will be premiering on Boomerang for the first time, starting on Saturday, July 15th at 5 p.m. in your respective time zones.
All right then.
Now off to Universal/Paramount. Mission Impossible 7 is currently at a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, based on 85 reviews. That's a pretty high review.
I'm not one to take Rotten Tomato scores as being the be all end all, but that's a pretty good score.
Yeah, and this one's interesting. The Purge 6, with all in America being broken into states belonging to ideology, sexuality, or religion. A quote from somebody, I don't know who the quote from, but it says, you'll have your black state, your gay state, your white and evangelical state, and it's really gonna break a country. It's a really a broken country.
Purge is wild, man.
I just realized something. I forgot to talk about the last DC topic because I skipped over because I knew it was going to be a big one.
Karl.
Hey, at least I remembered it after the Paramount stuff, which is still technically my section at least. But Smallville actress Alyssa Mack has been released from prison. And this is a big one because I have to explain why she went to prison. And these remember when I was trying to explain her why she went to prison.
I didn't know.
Why did she?
So, in 2006, Mack joined an organization called MXIVM. After attempting a 2-day introduction to Justice, a women's group within the organization, and eventually became a high-ranking member of the organization. Mack was a co-creator of The Source, a program within the organization to recruiters. Mack was a member of the Simple Human, a cappella singing group within the organization. He was also emerged a multi-day music festival hosted by it in 2007 and 2008. The events were billed as a university singing showcase and were aligned to be a front to draw unsuspecting undergrad into the organization. In 2015, the creator of the organization, Raynor, created a secret subgroup within the MXIV group called the Daimers Abteilungsdorfen, or DOS for short. Mack was the second in command of this secret group with Raynor. DOS was structured as a pyramid group with Raynor at the top and the only male within DOS, with subordinates including Mack and others at Mass's first line, DOS Masters, as DOS was organized to build their own female empowerment, but mainly employed a means to traffic women for Raynor's gratification. According to prosecutors, Mack and others recruited women by telling them they were joining a women's-only organization that would empower them, with Raynor's statue as the leader of the DOS appealing for new recruits. As a precondition for joining DOS, women were required to provide collateral, which included nude photographs, damaging information about family, friends, and right to recruit them. Recruits were told their collateral would be released if they left DOS or told anyone about DOS's existence, which were also controlled in several other ways, including requiring to seek permission, physical isolation, forced penetration in readiness drill, not penetration, preparation, deep depravity, extreme destructive diets, and even subject to corporal punishment. Mack reported recruited 4 women into DOS, including Edna Arzen, daughter of actress Katharina Offer. As director by Raynor, Mack and others recruited their recruits to be branded with a symbol representing Raynor's initials. The branding ritual followed a script created by Raynor. Mack's recruits were unaware that the branding was Raynor's initials. Instead, that Mack told them that the brand was a source symbol of elements: air, wind, fire, and water. Former member Sarah Hickman stated in a 2017 New York Times expose and a 2018 AE special about the cult detailed about DOS, and that she was been branded in an initiation ceremony by Mack's house under Mack's supervision. In a New York Times interview, Mack claimed that the human branding was her idea. Now here comes her arrest. On April 20th, 2018, Mack was arrested by the FBI in Brooklyn on the charge of sex trafficking conspiracy, and forced labor conspiracy. The federal indictment accused Mack of recruiting women to join was pursued to be a women's mentorship group that was in fact leaded and led by Keith Raynor. Mack was one of the top members of the high organization scheme, which was designed to provide sex to Raynor. In 2018, Mack was released from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn on a $5 million bond and held under house arrest under custody of her parents in California. Mack's arraignment proceedings, prosecutors also accused her of entering a sham marriage with Nikki Colleen to help Colleen circumvent U.S. customs law. India Berg, a witness at Mack and Clint's wedding ceremony, confirmed that the wedding was fake and was orchestrated by Raynor to keep Colleen in the USA. Here's where all this information is coming from Wikipedia. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's a nice source of information. On to the plea agreement and sentencing. Under the original agreement, Mack faced a minimum of 15 years in prison if found guilty. In March of 2019, she was revealed in court that Mack added and the other defendants in the case were plea negotiations, as Raynor appeared in court to plead not guilty to an additional child pornography charge related to the case. According to a filing by the United States Attorney of the Eastern District of New York, man's a mouthful, Mack sat down with a full session to assist the government in prosecuting Raynor starting in April of 2019. Mack detailed inner workings of on April 8th of 2019. Mack pleaded guilty to racketeering and racketeering conspiracy and admitted to state law enforced labors. In June of 2019, Raynor was found guilty of all charges and was sentenced to 120 years in October 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic in the United States delayed court proceedings, including the sentencing of Mack and other of the defendants. In 2021, prosecutors began the process of sentencing her. Under advisory sentencing guidance, Mack faced 14 to 17.5 years behind in prison. U.S. Attorney credited Mack for providing detailed and highly corroborated information and advocated for the favorable sentencing. days before the sentencing, Mack released a statement where she took a stab against Raynor, saying that her involvement in Jason was the biggest mistake of her life and the biggest regret of her life. They expressed remorse and regret in those afflicted. In addition to the letter, her attorney asked for no jail time in consideration for Mack's remorse and his cooperation in the Raynor prosecution. On July 30th, 2021, Mack was sentenced to 3 years in prison with 3 years probation and 1,000 hours of community service and a $20,000 fine. In September of 2021, Mack was reported to the Federal Corrections Institute in Dublin, California. She was released early on July 3rd, 2023, after serving 21 months of her 3-year sentence. That is the story of Alison.
A mouthful.
Yes, it was, but it was helpful information on why this girl got out of jail. Well, it used a good chunk of her
Do
time
you
up.
agree with the decision?
I think she should have gone to jail for more time. Yes, she was helpful. So maybe give her the 14. No, give her 10 years. That'd have been nice. Getting out 21 months. That's only what, a year and it's a year and 3/4, right? Do I have that right? DJ, you're good at math.
I don't know.
I want to say it's 3.5 years. It's not 3.5 years at all. I want to say it's a year and 3/4.
Yeah.
But anyways, on to Marvel and Disney. My forgetfulness has now been fixed.
We do Disney first though.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Alvarez's Alien movie has wrapped production, so it's coming to theaters on August 16, 2024. I'm not excited for it. I'm not too much of an Alien fan, but if you're out there, you're big into that, cool for you. This is sad news. Coco Lee, the Hong Kong singer-songwriter who sang Mulan's reflection from Mulan, died following a suicide attempt. 48 years old. It was very sad.
Wow.
And this next one is misleading. Well, not misleading, but I don't really believe it.
Take it with a grain of salt would be the phrase you probably want to use.
Johnny Depp is open to working with Disney again to return as Jack Sparrow. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. I don't think we're getting Sean. And on to the Marvel topics. The first one we have is that there's a big issue apparently facing the digital de-aging is the lack of time and planning given to visual effects, says a visual effects supervisor. Without proper planning, if deadlines are unrealistic, it can be very difficult sometimes. And you can actually see that through some of them. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks kind of terrible. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Seems you can immediately tell when the de-aging is bad.
Yeah, and I feel for the VFX artists, man. Like, they're grinding to the bone.
Wasn't there a whole strike that like a bunch of Marvel VFX artists left?
I do know that they were having problems, especially around Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, it's just rough out there because they have how many projects going at once? I think there's a few.
Like half a dozen. Like they're currently working on, probably close to that.
Yeah. The next one is Benedict Cumberbatch says he's filming an MCU project as Doctor Strange next year, so we'll be excited for that.
I don't know what it is currently, but he's got to be coming up on Chris Hemsworth and Hugh Jackman when it comes to how many times they reprised the same character.
Yeah, he doesn't have many appearances, but he's pretty memorable as a character in those movies. That's one of the true things. This is a funny one. Anthony Mackie says Harrison Ford wore ripped pants on the set of Captain America: New World because they lost his luggage. I gave him a pair of pants, but those are my work pants, Harrison goes. Anthony, just give me the damn pants. Apparently, he didn't have any luggage. So
the weekly Harrison Ford update is my favorite part of the week.
Give me the damn clothes. I can just imagine how he says it to us. And then
my favorite has still got to be What's a Red Hulk?
And then another one is also related to Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. has reportedly been on the set of Brave New World. It's unknown if it's a coincidence or he's returning as Tony Stark in some way.
See, I see it going one of two ways. Either A, he's meeting up with old friends, just seeing how they're doing. Yeah. And if he is doing anything Iron Man related, it has to be in like a flashback or something.
Yeah.
Or he could be a blue Smurf. He could be a blue Smurf.
Bro, if they brought back Robert Downey Jr. as a totally separate role,
No. What I'm referring to as blue Smurf is in the comics right after Captain Marvel punched Tony almost to death and put him in a coma. They had an AI version of him that was he was blue, but it was Tony, his entire mind.
They'll probably end up doing something like that. Maybe they'll have I don't know. But yeah, I don't expect him to be doing anything crazy. I would say don't even expect him to be in the movie.
I was gonna say, even he's in, I want to say the two, as we had in our our earlier episode, Barbie. He's an Oppenheimer,
Yeah, so obviously, think he'd be busy, with that.
which is still a funny word.
Barbenheimer.
Or
There's a pitch for a Jack Kirby inspired universe in Across the Spider-Verse, and the art looks pretty good.
yeah, DJ, put this on screen right now.
No way. People have Google.
Mm.
They can get off their butts and do it.
Do you know the internet nowadays? They don't let to look up shit.
I don't care.
Fair.
You guys remember that character, Agatha? The guy. Well, apparently, Coven of Chaos will act as the second season of WandaVision.
Which is kind of weird. Just do your own show and not try to write off a show that can't have another season.
Oh yeah, but the original version of the main character is deader than a doornail. It can never be technically brought back. We have a white version of that one, and the other main character is under a cloud of brick.
Yeah, dead, sorta, kinda not dead, maybe. They don't make it very clear. And in
So
the
funny
show,
one.
they call that ambiguous.
This is gonna be a lot of Spider-Man news. Some Spider-Man news coming up. First one is Mary Jane wins big in her first appearance as Jackpot in Amazing Spider-Man number 31. I don't think anyone thought 50 years later they'd be using "You hit the jackpot," like the word jackpot as the name.
I will say, kind of a W name.
It's a good name.
I'll give him that much. It's a reference to the character, and it works considering her new power set. On that part, I give props.
And at least it'll be because this is in modern, so it'll override the most recent being in air quotes, most recent version of using that catchphrase, jackpot. The most I want to say somewhat up to date was.
What was it?
What was the most recent time they used it?
From I remember, it would be Trouble.
Yeah,
Remember Trouble?
the less you remember at that one, the better. Let's see that. So these next ones are Marvel Spider-Man 2. So at San Diego Comic-Con 2023, the actors are gonna be giving are gonna be at the stand, taking questions. So it means people like Yuri Lowenthal. I'll be honest, I don't really know many of their voice actors in those games, but I know Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah.
And then apparently
I only know two. One is Yuri, and the other one is Sarah Black. The only two I know from the game.
Yeah, this is funny. One of the Across the Spider-Verse, Joaquin Dos Santos explained one of the Toy Biz Spider-Man toys is going to show up, and he was going to have a giant kid's hand that would go off screen and hold him. Yeah, I could not imagine seeing that in the movie.
You know what? To be fair, we had Lego Spider-Man. It couldn't have gotten much crazier than that.
Yeah.
No, craziest thing we had was 60 Spider-Man.
Bro, he lives in a 2D plane. Leave him alone.
That or seeing live action Prowler.
They can't afford to animate him anymore.
They're working those people to the bone.
As we did report on earlier.
Are you guys fans of Shang-Chi?
It's actually pronounced Shang-Chi.
Sorry, Shang-Chi.
Suck my dong chi.
Shang-Chi. So, Shang-Chi 2 was meant to release after Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. However, he adds that he keeps getting pushed back due to circumstances beyond my control.
That's the nicest way to put it.
Isn't this movie now going to be like Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? No, not Quantumania, just Ant-Man and the Wasp. Movie
where it takes place out of timeline order?
No. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania took place in between Endgame and technically
Quantumania or Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Hey, you guys talk about this, dude. I don't follow this anymore.
I meant to say Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I actually said Quantumania because I'm so used to saying that for so long.
Force of habit.
But Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel were big movies, somewhat in between Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Oh.
And it looks like Shang-Chi 2 will be like that.
Could be.
Well, you guys know? Are you guys excited for Deadpool 3?
Yeah.
I'm curious how bad Disney's gonna fuck that movie up.
Well, I have good news. Karl Sony says Deadpool 3 is still hard R and does not feel different from the previous two films. Adding on to that, they won't be toning down, and they said it does not feel different. And the last piece of advice says the only thing that for me is different is that I have not gotten the script this time. The other two we did get it, the MCU part of it versus the Fox Marvel part of it. They're so strict, so I've only seen glimpses of what I meant. Interesting. Another funny thing is, I'm gonna go a little over here. He has a new suit which looks really red.
Yeah,
distractingly red.
Yeah, it's definitely compared to the other ones, I think it's a bit of a downgrade, but it's not the worst thing that's ever, grazed my eyes before.
They could color grade it down to that color.
Yeah, because one of these shots is from, the final product of the movie, and the other one isn't. So
And then see this last one? Yeah, for a final thing on if I find another one I'll have to say it, but for Deadpool 3, Hugh Jackman will reportedly don a classic yellow and blue Wolverine suit in Deadpool 3. The design is said to be similar to a suit in the 2003 run of Astonishing X-Men, but with long sleeves.
I don't know about the long sleeves part, but they joked about it in the original X-Men, but you know what? It is going to be a sight to see this man wearing a yellow costume.
Oh, I take that back. We have a few more.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart and Ian Kelly will reprise their roles as Charles Xavier and Magneto in Deadpool 3.
Which really makes me wonder how much X-Men involvement is going to be in this movie. Because, I mean, previously, they made the joke they can't afford another X-Men. It was just mostly Colossus. They had Juggernaut, Yukio, Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
And then last, see, is this? I feel like there's so much here. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back and then I'll do the Daredevil stuff after.
That's fine.
Josh Brolin will not be returning as Cable in Deadpool 3. However, his time machine will have a big role throughout the film.
Sounds about right.
Ryan Reynolds' production company has now confirmed the news that Jennifer Garner will return as Elektra in Deadpool 3. I'm just going to be shotgunning these. Deadpool 3 will repeatedly feature multiple Marvel characters that were previously owned by 20th Century Fox. I feel like that's the big one. So, here in the pictures, they have, of course, Daredevil, Elektra, and then the Fantastic Four, the old Fantastic Four, and then, of course, the X-Men.
Terrific.
I feel like that's pretty big.
Honestly, Elektra returning is kind of weird.
Maybe they couldn't get Ben back. He has gone on record saying he hates Daredevil, so maybe they can't convince him enough to come back.
It makes me wonder how much Daredevil 2003 influence is going to be on this movie.
And speaking of Daredevil, this is a bad news. I mean, I didn't have much faith in the first place. Daredevil stuntman Chris Brewster says Disney didn't bring back any crew members from the original show. They did not want to make it anything like the Netflix Daredevil. They're making a big mistake.
Yeah. Why?
The thing about those action scenes is they're so good.
They are. They're some of the best parts of the show. And the thing is, if the wheel isn't broken, why try to fix it? Because people love the Netflix show. I love the Netflix.
I didn't watch all of it, but from what I watched, I really loved it. It was really good.
And the thing is, I can get if they want to take a different approach with this, so it doesn't feel too similar to it. But if you're going to portray this show, exactly, and if you want to portray this show in at least a similar manner, bringing back at least some of the crew would probably help. But just ditching them all for a brand new set, that's.
And then I'll go to Guardians 3 after. So Star Wars Dark Droids this summer, malevolent being known as the Scourge threatens to take over everything in the galaxy in Star Wars Dark Droids. Check out the covers now with start of a dark chapter. Yeah, I stopped reading these events after I think it was Empire something. It was the second event I stopped reading. I read War of the Bounty Hunters and the second one, Syndicate something. I didn't read anything after that. I kind of fell off of Star Wars Marvel comics. So if you're into that, it's cool. And then the next one is Silk Spider Society will reportedly move forward after a writer's strike. So the Silk show is still coming out. And then here, the big one, the other big one is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, there's a deleted scene with the High Evolutionary. Scene shows the villain trapped in nowhere after the events of the film. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't. So spoiler warning from here on out. Here's a big have you finished the movie? Did you watch it?
As of right now, no. So I'm gonna plug my ears. Karl, just give me the old thumbs up when he's done.
Okay, so because this is a spoiler for the movie. Spoiler warning, you can skip to maybe 10 seconds ahead or something. James Gunn and Chris Pratt discussed about the Star-Lord solo movie. The movie would show how Star-Lord and Earth trying to adapt to the environment of Earth. Okay, you're good.
All right. Spoilers are over.
Yeah, we have someone on the set here who also hasn't watched it. So. And this isn't really a spoiler, but Stan Lee was originally set to cameo as Lambshank in Guardians 3 prior to his passing. I plan to just animate then have him do the voice and have a little Stan Lee face. So what did we learn today from Marvel? That make sure to keep the original stunt people from the show that people love. And then Deadpool is staying insane.
It's gonna be, oh Lord, it's gonna be a crazy movie. And I would expect
God Disney does not fuck it up.
And I would expect nothing less on both fronts. But either way, let me run right through the miscellaneous stuff for today. We don't have a ton of stuff today, but sadly we have to start off with some sad news. 1,000-pound sister star Tammy Slayton's husband Caleb Willingham dead at 40. That stinks. And
I
on
wonder if
on
she
the
crushed him to death.
Karl, that's not nice. But on the topic of death, Robert De Niro's deeply distressed by the death of his 19-year-old grandson. As of right now, we do not have
A
any
COD.
causes of death, unless I am missing something.
I don't see anything. I haven't looked.
So yeah, obviously, pray for all the families of both men, and we send our condolences.
Very sad.
Daniel Kaluuya's Barney movie is described as surrealistic, similar to the work of Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze. The film is being sold as an A241 type that will be really a play for adults.
DJ, do me a favor and reread that again.
A24 type?
I heard A21.
A24. Get that wax out of your ears, Karl.
You learn to talk better.
I talk perfectly fine. In fact, I'm gonna say this next sentence without slipping up. Jason Blum and you interrupted me. You made me slip up. Jason Blum and James Wan are currently looking to adapt more video games into horror films together. James is a big gamer, says Jason.
Aren't they the ones working on the FNAF movie you love so much?
Moving on. Crap, I can't quite move on yet because Jason Blum was also quoted as saying, "Horror movies don't work if you're not really emotionally connected to characters. You just have to be tied up in the events that are happening that are not scary to be scary." I mean, yeah, like that's big facts. You can't just be. There is not a single movie that I believe is scary 100% throughout because that's just not how the flow of a movie works.
There are movies that are creepy and eerie,
Yes.
but not scary.
Exactly. Like a movie shouldn't be scary all the way throughout because then you're gonna lose your audience halfway through because they're gonna be exhausted.
I can say one thing. The next topic, you're gonna lose your audience regardless.
Mattel's Magic 8-Ball horror movie will not be rated R, but it still walks the line a little bit.
Okay, hear me out. I think PG-13 horror movies are sometimes more interesting because they have to work around that stuff. So this
I mean, that's
Magic
fair.
8-Ball movie is going to work around. It's going to walk the line a little bit. So it won't be disgusting as in like because a lot of R-rated horror movies have just disgusting gore. It's going to be more preserved or it's going to be more reserved, and it's going to be probably creepier because you probably won't see them get killed. It's kind of like remember Alien, right?
Yeah.
You don't specifically see all of them die their brutal deaths.
Yeah.
You kind of just see them go away. It might be like that. I think it's a more interesting concept.
I just have
This is
one
the first
major
and last
question.
time someone will compare Magic 8-Ball to Alien, but I do get what you're saying, Jacob.
It's showing less is actually scarier.
Less is more.
Yeah, less is more. I think it's
I have a question.
What's that, Karl?
Excuse my language again, but how the fuck are you gonna make a horror movie out of the Magic 8-Ball?
I know I can have an idea, multiple ideas how I could.
Well. Let me counter question you, Karl. How do you make a Hot Wheels movie directed by J.J. Abrams that is emotional, grounded, and gritty?
I have the answer to both of your question and my own question.
And that would be?
You don't.
Well, we're getting them because along with those, we have 45 film/TV shows based off Mattel toys that are in production.
We've
45.
talked about three. We've talked about three of them already today.
Yep, Magic 8-Ball, Hot Wheels, and Barbie.
Yep.
What the heck? Anyway. This Independence Day, July 4th, was the hottest day ever recorded on Earth, with a global average temperature reaching 17.18 degrees Celsius. The U.S. National Centers for Environmental Prediction reveals this. Some scientists say it may have been one of the hottest days on Earth in over 125,000 years.
I mean, how hot was it for you guys?
It was pretty hot. I know they're talking about like from a global standpoint, so obviously the average is going to be lower globally.
You want to know how hot that bloody is?
17.18 degrees Celsius is like 60-something degrees.
It is 63 degrees. Californians would be happy to get 63 degrees in our bloody
I feel like
Yeah, I would've loved-
this
I
summer
would've
has just
loved
been one of the
it.
hottest summers.
Yeah, this summer's been pretty hot.
And Karl was in the South.
Oh yeah. During his trip, he was begging to get back here.
I can deal with California better than I can deal with the South.
Yeah, because that's humid.
sticky.
Yeah, that's nasty. The Super Mario Brothers movie releases on PC Peacock on August 3rd.
I actually own that movie now, so if they ever take it off the store, can't.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned this earlier when we were bumping in the other passings, but Emile Morel, the creative director for Beyond Good and Evil 2, has passed away at age 40. So obviously we send our condolences to his family as well. Hopefully we won't have to report any more deaths in this episode or just in general. A big one that happened recently: Britney Spears was allegedly assaulted in Las Vegas by Victor. I'm not gonna try this last.
Okay, I have a funny story about this one. I was at a Chili's, BJ's, and I was watching a game, and this guy was playing in it, and my dad told me about the story. So yeah, this great guy backhanded her after she tried to get a photo with him.
Yep, that's exactly what happened because she was allegedly assaulted by Victor. Again, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. Thank you. Security, who backhanded her in the face after she tapped the NBA player on the back for a photo. I believe we had some others relating to that. Yeah. Britney Spears' husband, Sam Asghari, speaks out following the security guard assaulting Britney. He was quoted as saying, "I can't imagine a scenario where an unarmed female fan showing any kind of excitement or appreciation for a celebrity would cause her to be physically assaulted, much less being hit in the face by tapping someone on the shoulder."
Also go to...
Yeah, because footage of the incident was revealed, and it shows that she did not grab him from behind like the NBA player had claimed. She merely tapped him on the shoulder. So, yikes. This freaking dude. Grimace announces their departure from McDonald's in a new post. What is saying?
Goodbye, Grimace.
You made me feel so special. Thank you. Say goodbye, Grimace, now.
Say goodbye, Grimace, now.
Yeah.
Why does Grimace talk like
Because Grimace isn't smart.
Because Grimace is a talking turd. Hamburglar better. But for real, bye, Grimace.
Hamburglar will steal your stuff. Grimace will give you stuff.
No. He'll give you something, all right.
Dead.
Will he give you cookies from DJ's house?
No, he's gonna give you diabetes.
Yeah, from the cookies he gives from your house.
They're not my cookies. No way. I do not accept responsibility for anyone who dies because of cookies. Elon Musk says Instagram is cheating with their rival app to Twitter. This man is on something.
He knows something we don't.
This man was supposed to be the new Tony Stark. He was supposed to be the real life Tony Stark. But man, bro, he's not even good enough to play Iron Man.
He was in Iron Man though.
Yeah, he was. He was in Iron Man 2. Kobe Bryant is on the cover of NBA 2K24. Back to what we were just talking about. Twitter is threatening to sue Instagram over their rival app, and they appear to be limiting reach on posts if they mention it by name or link it. Let's see. Sopranos star Michael Imperioli slams the Supreme Court's anti-LGBTQ ruling. He's quoted saying, "I've decided to forbid bigots and homophobes from watching any projects I've been in. Thank you, Supreme Court, for allowing me to discriminate and exclude those who I don't agree with. America's becoming dumber by the minute." OceanGate, the company that owned the submarine that imploded near the Titanic, will be suspending operations.
Good. Maybe they won't use a logic controller to control their damn sub next time.
Maybe. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Karl. Really did. Can you help me explain this next one, Karl? Oh, never mind. I got it.
Invincible, I think.
Yeah, more Invincible news for season 2. Coming in 2 weeks, we'll have more news regarding it.
At San Diego.
At San Diego Comic-Con. And animation has wrapped up for the new Ultraman film. I mean, from this one screenshot we have alone, it looks sick. And I'm not even like the biggest Ultraman fan out there. But with all that being said, that's all our news topics for this week.
No, you skipped one.
No, I didn't. Like, I talked. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did.
I was going to say, wait, you skipped 8291.
Look. In my defense, I have no defense.
Last
topic of the day. Taylor Swift reveals she has become very close friends with Taylor Lautner. Yeah, and his wife, Taylor Lautner.
What? No.
He and his wife have become some of my closest friends, and it's very convenient because we all share the same first name.
That's why I got that because I knew you would laugh.
That is pretty good.
Bro, if you put them all in a room and you say, Taylor, who are you talking to?
Even that, if you just put Taylor Lautner and his wife in the same room, you won't know who you're talking to
You can't
either.
say Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner. What do you call them? Taylor Lautner squared?
TL squared.
That's what they are at this point.
Do people talk to them like their mother? Do they use their middle names?
It'd be really funny if they had the same middle name.
They better not. It's probably like Lee or something. Probably something super common.
Let's see. I don't know. Let me look up what Taylor Lautner's middle name is if he even has one. Some people don't have middle names.
Which is weird. Everyone should have a middle name.
Yeah, Jacob, our friend Jacob has 2 middle names.
Now that's just greedy. Why would you do that, Jacob?
I would never. I didn't exactly hear what you said, and I don't remember. Whatever it is, I didn't do it.
I just said you have two middle names.
Oh,
Why are you so greedy, Jacob?
Because I'm just cool like that. 2 middle names. It's just like the only name that confuses me is it you name if you do have like two middle names. That Smith is a last name, so I don't think that's
Jacob,
terrible.
I'm gonna have to be 100% honest with you. You know when you go into a character creator for a game,
I know what you're gonna say, and I
and you
agree
pick
with
the
it.
character.
Your
name is
default.
It is the default character name setting.
It is. I'm not going to deny that. I do have a default name.
Well, Taylor Lautner, the guy, his middle name is Daniel.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to
Her
find
middle
what is
name's
his
gonna be
wife.
Danielle.
Okay, come on, stupid article.
That must have been a conversation topic.
Yeah.
They're
At
just
that
like,
point, just don't take the last name.
wait, but they had the same last name.
But because they're married.
No? We're assuming they had the same last name before they were married.
If that's the case, then we're all screwed.
How are people supposed to know if they're married? That's the question. If they don't, if she doesn't take his last name.
I don't know, the ring on her finger.
But who is she married to? So did they?
The guy with the ring on his finger.
But what if they're not together? They say, "Oh, Miss Lautner."
Actually, she may not wear her ring all the time, according to what I found.
Huh. Well, regardless,
Yep.
It's about time for us to wrap up here. Very nice light week for us. That's great. But we will be back next week with more news and expect more uploads coming up. Hey, I'm working on that. But on behalf
we have a few series that we've
on
recorded
behalf
already.
of my friends Karl and Jacob, this is your favorite Southern Californian son signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace, y'all.